So for today's weekly Jinx video, and for those who don't know, every Wednesday on this channel, we do a Jinx video of any kind, and the topic is decided by you, commenting in the comment section below about what you want to see me talk about for next week's Jinx video, as well as this video acting as a weekly discussion thread video on the Jinx subreddit, League of Jinx, so feel free to check that out. And for today, I kind of wanted to talk about the midway patch 7.24b, only because there were some changes that might affect bot lane, in which case what you might be playing against as Jinx, and then for a discussion we could talk about how to play against those things as Jinx if you struggle against what is meta or what is not meta that you might see anyway. First and foremost, supports. We already saw a little bit of hard engaged supports, like of Leona and Alistar, prior to the changes. After the changes, some people are saying that the poke supports aren't as great anymore, especially with changes to mana flow. So things like Varus and Xerath, which were kind of a thing because they could both poke the heck out of somebody together, are now a little weaker because of that, and you might not see as many poke AD carries anymore. You might still see them. Lethality isn't garbage and just completely gone or anything, but you might see less of them because A, when some people see nerfs, they think something's bad anyway and just discard it, but B, it might be a little weaker because also on the lethality side, they took a little bit of lethality off of each of the items. So someone that used to maybe build all 3 lethality items might have lost a total of, say, 6 lethality off the top because they took 2 off of serrated Dirk. So when you combine possibly less mage and poke supports and less pokey, AD carries, what do you get instead? Well, if you're getting hard engage supports, you're probably getting lane bullies to go with them, or you're getting things like Vayne, who's going to be a little bit uninhibited by poke AD carries in the early game now. Furthermore, when it comes to Jinx specifically, on the subreddit there was a post about the fact that Jinx's win rate has actually turned positive for the first time in a little bit. So even Jinx, if poke supports from lethality and poke AD carries are gone, will benefit a little bit. They kind of got a little bit of a buff just by those being weaker now. So what kind of AD carries might you be playing against then in the bot lane? Well, honestly, the meta might kind of shift a little bit back to what it already was. At least from what I'm seeing, this is not necessarily fact. But from what I was already seeing prior to when people decided lethality was like the greatest thing ever, you still saw things that really went well with hard engaged supports, the likes of Twitch and Tristana. But you might see some things like Lucian come back because you can bully in the lane right now without it having to be lethality. And the meta is still really early game focused. So you probably still want things that can kind of take over early on in the game, even Draven for that matter. I've seen quite a bit of Dravens lately. I think that's partly because of his skin, the Santa Draven skin, but also just because he's something that can possibly do work early and then snowball and win the game early, when most of the other lanes are still kind of in an early game mode. We're not back to like a late game something. The reason I even bring up Twitch and Tristana is because they kind of haven't been nerfed still, and so they're still kind of good at what they do. They're just maybe not as good as a Lucian or a Vayne or a Draven or something like that. So then, how do you play against those champions is going to be the question for this video. If you are a Jinx player, a long-time Jinx player, or if you're a new Jinx player, maybe you've seen these things, you want to pick up Jinx but don't really know how to play against those, I'll give some general advice, and then in the comment section down below, hopefully other people give better advice than what I'm going to. But honestly, the best thing to do in this meta period is farm. You want to get your items because then you'll be able to blow, mid to early game champions away because they won't be able to scale as well as you can. But that's all for this video. So thank you so much for watching this video this far if you did. I don't know what will be next because life be quite a mess. So till this time, take care. For the Fire Guy FS, thank you for watching.